Changing minds one thought at a time.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Motivate Social Podcast, where we are bringing you people who are changing the world via social media. I am Dr. Akina Finch, and you know I can't do what I do without my co-host Vanessa Canterbury. How art thou?
I'm great. How are you?
Fabulous. You know, I'm just so excited to hear who we are talking to today.
Oh my goodness, I am excited to be able to have this next speaker on because I have met him in person and we had an amazing conversation and just to hear his experience of the things that he has gone through. I mean, we could not have this conference complete without him. So let's no longer delay to have Dr. Stephen Williams. How are you, Stephen?
I'm doing well. I am doing well. How are you, Nessa? How are you, Dr. Finch? How y'all doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Um, my question to you, and I thank you so much because um, as I state so many times, men, we don't hear from our men, and we need to hear from our men. And for you to say yes to be a part of the Breaking Barriers Unapologetically conference as not only the speaker, but also on a panel with some other men, I'm grateful because I know we can move and do so many more things when we could be able to hear both sides of the perspective from women and men. And your topic is you are the answer. So when you think of you are the answer, so many people don't think they are the answer. What would you tell them?
So, first of all, thank you for having me. Definitely love being part of your, I call it an educational tour because we everybody that's listening. So thank you for that. Thank you for letting me be a part of it. I'm really excited about it. Just from the time that we met, just us going back and forth, the dialogue we had, it was friendly, it was funny, it was real. So I think that's what, definitely drew me towards you and made me want to be part of this conference. So thank you. Thank you for the one up. And then with a little nudging from Dr. Finch as well. Dr. Finch, she kind of keep me level-headed at that time and keep me focused on the master plan. So I appreciate both of you. But to answer your question, when it comes to you are the answer, I think we live in a society of quick fixes. I think we live in a society of people passing the buck when the majority of the time all we have to do is look at that man in the mirror, that man or that woman in the mirror, and make moves, right? A lot of people always say, I'm waiting on God, we waiting on God, we waiting on God. But the truth is God waiting on you. Like, you got to make that first step. You got to move. God has given us all these gifts and talents, and those gifts and talents equal to the answer, right? So I just think in today's date, we have to move past saying, what are we going to do? We have to move past all the excuses, all the obstacles, and actually working the right now and become that answer that the world needs. That whatever space in the world you at, whatever place God has put you in, God put you there for a reason. So you have to be the answer in those spaces. So that's kind of where my presentation is going, just empowering people and enlightening people and pushing them in the direction that they need to be in, because we are the answer. And it takes all of us. It takes men, women, it takes the elders, it takes the young ones. But as the collective group, man, we can solve way more than we're doing. But the biggest problem is a lot of people want to wait for the next person to do it. Or they want to scapegoat and say, I can't do this, I'm too old, I can't do this, I'm a male. This ain't a space for us. When that's all false. Whatever space God has put us in, that's where we got to work it out. We are the answer. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with my presentation on the conference.
I love that. I love that. So basically, stop scapegoating and realize that you are the answer to all these problems that you're complaining about. So I mean that
Facts.
okay.
We complain too much.
I'm here with you. And what would you say to someone who would be like, I don't have any qualities, I don't have any skills, nobody's interested in listening to me. What would you say to them about how they're the answer?
Well, for one, that's just false. Everybody has a voice. That's why God gave everybody a mouth, right? But we do got 2 ears, so we do need to listen to what's going on and don't just throw out loose solutions to problems that's not needed. However, everybody has a mouth, so everybody has a voice. So if I heard anybody say that, I'm 100% sure that they're wrong. God has given us all these different testimonies, right? And so I'm a Christian, so I always revert to the Bible. The Bible says that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. So the blood of the Lamb is Jesus Christ, acknowledging Jesus Christ, he got us. He covered us through it all, and he has covered us. That's why he went to the cross. But the second part of that verse states that we're overcome by the words of our testimony, right? So God put us on all these testimonies, on all these tracks to build us for the moment that we're at today. Everything you went through in the past is going to assist you along your way from this point on forward. Everything you go through is for a reason. So anybody who say that they not the answer or they don't know what to do, all they got to do is glance back and see what God brought them through, and they can press forward. Everybody got a voice.
Wow. We don't go through these tests in life to not have no testimony.
Fact.
Right?
That's why testimony starts with test, T-E-S-T, before the M-O-N-E.
Yep.
You got to go test. That's what make you relevant. You can't talk to nobody about being healed if you've never been sick. You can't talk about somebody about being rich if you've never been poor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those tests are necessary. That's necessary. So
I'm loving this. Because I say it all the time, and people just fail to realize is that, just like you said, we use God as a crutch way too much. Let's go there. And if we, I'm waiting on God, like you said, but faith without works is dead. But you have yet to take any action on what you said that you have faith in.
Facts. Okay. All of his promises that he gives us in the Bible, it comes with the antecedent. We got to do something. It says, knock and answer, seek and we find. See, we just going looking for the answer, and we just going for the find. We don't want to go through the hard stuff. So we don't want to talk about the knocking, whatever the knocking looks like for that person. And we don't want to talk about the seeking or the times it takes to do the knocking or the seeking. We just looking for that, that answer and that find. So you're absolutely right with that, Nelson. You are 100% right.
Oh my goodness, Stephanie, you just don't know. I'm ready to jump and scream, and this is right here. This is why people need to be able to get their tickets to the Breaking Barriers Unapologetically conference, so they can be able to get this information, this knowledge, this wisdom, to be able to push you, propel you to whatever is next, because we all have a next, but we got to be willing to do the work to get to the next. And Stephen, what's one of those tips that you will tell people to get to the next, to be able to truly understand you are the answer? What's that tip that you will provide them?
Man, it's just like Nike. You just got to do it. We get caught up. A lot of times we get caught up in the steps. A lot of times we get caught up in the hard work of it. So we always give ourselves these excuses on why not be the answer, right? I work in the school system, and daily, every day, I hear people coming up with many excuses on why I don't want to get myself in trouble at work. Why not to give a certain population of kids they 100%? And they kind of look at it in the business term, ROI, return on investment, right? So they feel if they pour out, they do all this investing, all this investing into a kid, they may not get the return that they want, right? They done pulled out, they done helped pay bills, they done took this kid home, they did everything, and that kid may break the law, that kid may do this, right? Without even trying to put a step forward, they already label that kid, I'm not gonna get much on my investment, so I'm not gonna fool with them, right? I'm not. So the step I take, I just do it. Nike, I just do it. I don't care about my return up front. I just invest because the investment's so big. First of all, God called me to do it. Secondly, everything I'm doing is from a pure heart and trying to make the world a better space and place, right? So at no time will my return ever be sent back to me void. And at no time will my investment be considered worthless. Because at some point, it may not be that day or a month from now or even a year now. Some point a kid go tell you, hey man, Dr. Williams, he really loved me, and he really tried to show me a different way. Whether they take it at that moment or not, I still give them everything that I got. However, I sit in a space a lot of times that I see people not doing so much of, those right things. And it's all based on return on investment. Those kids who are troubled, sometimes people don't want to mess with them so much because they'd rather invest their time and their resources with the top tier because they know that their investment will return high. That kid will go off to college. That kid will come home with a doctorate. That kid will bless the community, but they don't see that the kids at the bottom, by blessing them, you are blessing the community. By blessing them, you are blessing their family. By blessing them, you are blessing the world. That's one less kid that we got to deal with on our taxes. He become a successful citizen instead of us, always pouring into him, through the judicial system. So anyways, back to the main tip. I go on tangents at times. The main tip I would give them is you just have to do it. You can't settle for those excuses. You got to take that one blind step. When I was pledging Alpha Phi Alpha, Martin Luther King, he is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. Of course, he passed away, but once you're an Alpha, you're always an Alpha. They gave us this really dope simile, metaphor, whatever you want to call it. And they say, if you turn the lights off in your house, and this is something that he said, you turn off the lights in your house if you walk up the steps, even though you're in the darkness, and you're taking one step at a time in the darkness, at some point you go get to the top. Regardless of what's going on, at some point you go get to the top, even in the darkness. So I take that same approach every single day. Even though sometimes I'm in the darkness, I still got to take a step. I got to take another step. I got to take another step. And before you know it, you're going to be at that top. And you can look down and say, man, I went through a lot of dark days, but man, here I am, or here this kid is. So I always try to keep that in the back of my mind that even though I may not see where I'm going, I just take one step at a time. Every day it's about actionable moves. You got to be about action. Just sitting there is not going to get you there. And sometimes you got to plan. Planning is an actionable step. But you always got to be about action. Take that step, that blind step in faith. That's what it is. You don't know where you're going, but it's that step. You think you know you're going to the top of these stairs. That's your end goal. So let me just take a step today and try to get closer to that top. You know what? That step worked. I'm up on one step. So let me take one more step. Darn, I'm looking good. I'm up 3 steps. And before you know it, you done took all these blind steps in faith. First of all, God is going to honor that. Secondly, once you get to where you're supposed to be, it's going to be even more time for testimony, right? Even more glory for yourself and for God, mostly God, though. Talk to me.
Wow. You really just took us through a spectrum of feelings. And, a lot of people go through that from time to time. And they're like, which way do I go? They know that there's a problem. They know that there's something to be solved. But how do I start? Can you tell us how you could start?
So starting with me being, my cousin said it one time, and I used to think she was crazy. She said she was a lifelong learner, right? And when I was younger, I didn't understand what she was saying when the Honorable Dr. Finch said that she was a lifelong learner. But now I understand exactly what she meant, because everything that we do, it got to start with a portion of research, right? So if God says, hey, Stephen, you go open a school for needy kids, the first thing that I have to do is research. Look at the area, look at the type of kids, look if there's grants, look if there's funding. It's all your first step always have to be research. And since we live in this world of instant gratification, because all we got to do is type into Google, schools within my area, funding for schools. Like all you got to do is type in whatever you're looking for, and it pop right up. So everybody's first step has to start on Dr. Finch's approach of being a lifelong learner and actually doing a little bit of research. Because you can't never start nothing blind. You always got to kind of see where you're going, and God gonna honor that and take you to rest. So your first step has to be research, and that's an actionable step too. Some people say that research. Some people think that research is not doing anything, but research is helping you build that foundation. You have to have that strong foundation. So research has to be, I think, your first move towards any play, whatever your play is. You need to look it up. Be more versed in it so you can talk about it. So you can share your passion with people. So you know what avenues to take and what not. Because a lot of people have taken these paths already and some have failed. Right? And we can see those hiccups and we can avoid them totally. Don't go to that school, that's a scam. Don't talk with that lender. We know they hustling. They got 1 out of 5 stars. So it's just do basic research before you start on your path. And from there, formulate your plan. So that's what I would do first step, Dr. Finch. I would definitely take that lifelong learner approach and do a little research.
Mm-hmm. Research is essential.
Facts.
Mm-hmm. It's essential. What's one of the reasons why you would say people need to be in attendance of the Breaking Barrier Unapologetically conference?
Man, I'm just going to speak from the heart, man. Just getting to hear you guys, Keena's event, Dr. Finch, excuse me, the way you guys flowed together, the way you guys definitely spit a lot of knowledge, and it wasn't, well, not even, it was wisdom. The way you guys gave wisdom, and when you gave this wisdom to everybody in attendance, it wasn't like you pointing down at somebody or you yelling at them or you feel they're inferior to you, so you got to show them. But just the way you guys delivered it, to me, was second to none. I got to sit down for that whole day and smile and laugh and learn. And of course, hearing Dr. Finch talk, man, this girl she a ball of knowledge, right? So not only did I want to synergize with you guys, join with you guys, because I got a different angle too. So I feel that with the wisdom that you guys bring, then I got a little wisdom I can bring that we can help paint a better picture for, anyone who may be in need or anybody who need to be empowered. Because you young ladies are definitely women who are pushing to empower people, right? And by empowering people, that's teaching them to fish. It ain't just yelling facts. It ain't just saying I'm better. It's really actually helping people become better because they're catching it themselves, and then they're taking the knowledge that you have given them and being able to apply it to their own life. So who wouldn't want to be a part of that? Somebody who's really using their gifts that God gave them to bless those around. Like, it's a no-brainer. I had to join forces, a little nudging from you both. Shout out to Nessa and shout out to Dr. Finch. But, I mean, just, the genuine conversations we have, and they're always about uplifting one another. I mean, it's just so positive. There's so much wisdom that can be gained by anybody who attends. Because listening to Keena talk about all this social media, Dr. Finch talk about all this social media, so I'm like, Darren, I'm way behind the curve. Like, I thought I was elite. So it even made me look at my practices different. So just being able to synergize with people who are like-minded and trying to actually empower people to better our world is definitely one of the reasons why I had to partake.
I thank you so much. I really do. I am. You really, really, my goodness, you, the wisdom that you dropped, it was just phenomenal. And it was just real, just being real is, because there's so much fakeness that's on social media. And it's good to connect with people who they doing the work. They put in the time, they sacrificing, they not just talking the talk, they walking it as well. They going back and they sharing their story, because we all have a story, and we unapologetic about our story, because our story is something that could be able to save somebody else, as I always say, is their survival kit. And so I thank you so much for being a part of this. I can't wait to when the men get together on the panel too. Oh my goodness. I know you guys are going to tear it up. The meeting of the minds. Oh my goodness. That's going to be good stuff.
I'm definitely excited about that, man, because as men, it's a time where we do have to reestablish our roles. The reason I say reestablish, because we have been torn down. We have met every obstacle, and some of us are just flat out giving up. right? Whether that's just, whatever the duties are in wherever place you are of a man. They look different in different places, but a lot of them are the same, especially rearing our kids. So it's just a time where we need to reestablish our role and actually push forward with our role to help better everything that's going on, because the men, we kind of are the problem. So we go reestablish ourselves and become the answer. We have to reestablish ourselves.
Oh, I love that. Reestablish ourselves to become the answer. With that being said, that was a nugget. I want to thank you so much for being part of the Breaking Barriers Unapologetically Conference that's going to take place on July 24th and 25th. And I want you to be able to let people know where they could be able to find you on social media so they can continue to follow you.
Okay, perfect. So the best place and the easiest place to find me, so I do Christian rap too. Me and my brother, we used to do Christian rap a lot. We used to travel the world talking about the good message of Jesus Christ, right? So those are my the social media contacts or sites that I frequent. I check them almost every day. So the best space to find me on on Twitter and on Facebook is The Boys in Jesus, at The Boys in Jesus. So it's @TheBoyzAnd, capital JESUS. So at The Boys with a Z in Jesus. That's the easiest space to find me.
Okay, at The Boys of Jesus. Okay, now. Thank you so much again, Stephen. I truly appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to your message, the nuggets that you're going to continue to drop, and just seeing the testimonials that's going to come out of this, because God don't make no mistakes. He knew exactly what he was doing when the vision came about for the Breaking Barriers Unapologetically Conference. I didn't understand it, but he said, okay, yeah, you're going to get it. And once I understood it after the fact, because, we could be so hard-headed. I was like, wow. And I'm just like, I still get blown away when I hear the testimonial, see what people have done after they attended the first conference. So here we are doing the second one. So I thank you so much for being a part of it. Feel free to follow us all over social media, from Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Changing Minds Online. You can also find us on changingmindsonline.com as well. And don't hesitate to get your tickets. If you get your tickets before the 10th of July, you'll be able to get a kit to prepare you for the conference that's going to take place on July 24th and 25th of July at bbuconference.com. That's boy umbrella conference.com. Go over there and get your tickets. Don't delay, and you will not be disappointed. So Dr. Finch, did I miss anything?
Well, first, I want to say thank you so much, Stephen, for being on the podcast today. Big cousin is proud.
Come on, big cousin. Come on. Don't be like that. You've been having these conversations for many years. These ain't new conversations. You've been pushing us. Come on, man. I don't even got to go into it. But Keena, appreciate you, Dr. Finch. I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity between you and Vanessa. I appreciate it, because y'all are actually stretching me with this conference, right?
Yes.
So it's a little stretch.
Yes.
That I need. So thank you.
And before I was Dr. Finch, I was Keena. So that is what you keep getting on this podcast. So
I'm sorry, man. I keep messing that up. I got to do better. But we talked before. I told you, subject and verbs may not agree all the time. They come out. So sorry, Dr. Finch.
No, I am Keena. So it's all good.
I do the same thing, Keena.
Yeah, she does it all the time too. So it's all good. It's all good. I am Keena. So, thank you so much, everyone, for listening to this podcast. Please reach out to the Boys in Jesus and get on the mailing list, get on the social media, be looking out for the new album, Wink Wink.
It's coming.
Yes, get out there and, listen to this powerful man. He's young and he is, rooted in the goodness. So this is a good role model for your sons and your daughters too. Um, so this is be someone that you could really, really, tap into. So please follow him and definitely follow us at Change Your Minds Online. We're also on LinkedIn and YouTube. And of course, listen to all of the speakers from the Breaking Barriers Unapologetically Conference. And with that being said, I want to say good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.